Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Texas Devil Running Talk Show. Today we have Ryan Hill on, and he's going to talk a little bit about his Bandera 100k experience. But before we get to that, we have two announcements. One, we have a huge clothing sale. Everything's like 20% off right now, so you can get a hoodie for like 20 bucks right now. And whenever you buy a product, each product you buy, it enters you into a raffle for a running warehouse gift card. So, guys, if you haven't gone to our shop and got some Texas Devil running merch, make sure you guys go and get you some merch there. And then also, guys, we have a Patreon. So if you want to donate a few dollars a month to help out the show and get some other perks with that as well, you guys can definitely do that. So Ryan, tell us, man, how have you been?
What's going on, Briston? I'm happy to be here, man. Excited to be on your show.
Yeah,
Been good, man. Uh, Bandera was what now about a month ago now, so took a couple weeks to kind of recover and regroup my legs and body, and but now I'm kind of picking back the running up again, and kind of choosing what's next and what to focus on next, and how I'm gonna go about this next training block.
yeah. So you're from Denison, Texas, and
Yeah,
so training in Denison, how were you able to train for Bandera 100k in Denison? Because I know Denison does have some pretty good hills north. But tell us a little bit like how you were training for the Bandera 100k.
it's a good question. Man, Denison is a hidden gem. There are there's trails and gravel roads and nice wide residential streets to run on. Kind of it's really grown recreationally. I think mountain biking and cycling and running seems to be more prevalent in this area. But there's awesome trails to hit. I would say two closest trails to hit around this area, like Bandera, would be either Eisenhower State Park or Cross Timbers Trail Run. Those trails throw some steep inclines and declines, and
Especially cross
there's technical, yeah, especially cross timbers with Cripple Creek, I believe. That's a nice doozy of a downhill technical. Very similar to Bandera. So as much as I could, my Sunday long runs, especially, I would try to head out to Eisenhower or definitely Cross Timbers.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw before the run you were doing. I think you did like 20, like a 26 mile or 30 mile run or something like that. What was like the longest run you did before the race?
And so this has been by far the best training block before a race that I've ever had. And I think a lot of things in that are coming to play. I'm just growing as a runner and learning so much from my coach, Jason Hamill. But let's see, leading up to Bandera, I had three really breakthrough long runs. And all three of those were, and I wouldn't suggest this for anybody, but all three of those runs were 26 plus miles. One of them was a 50k progression on a treadmill because of bad weather. But man, I had some nice long runs, a moderate 26-mile run, and I would say that 50k progression was probably my the best long run I had leading up to Bandera.
Yeah, and dude, what I love about your training. So, guys, if you don't know, when I first met Ryan, he was running, I think it was the Monster Half Marathon, the Oktoberfest or whatever it was. Yeah, I met him there, and I followed him on Strava and stuff. And his training is like, I love his training. He runs his easy days easy and takes his hard days hard. And for example, he would run like a lot of miles at like 8 minute pace, but like for the half marathon, he was running like 6 minute something pace because he's taking his easy days easy, and I just love that training regimen for stuff like that. And then for the longer distances, did you do like weight training going into it as well?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. I've been doing strength training with exercise bands and um, lower body strength training for runners. If you want a good workout, Nick Simmons, he has some great lower body. He's an Olympic 800
Yeah.
meter runner. I'm sure you know about him. He's got some great workouts on his YouTube channel. But I've implemented a pretty strict program, 2 to 3 days a week, strength training, 1 day a week, or sometimes twice a week, exercise band. And man, that's really played a key role in, I would say, into those longer runs. When you get past that 2 hour time of running, and you're so depleted, and that strength is a huge factor.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like every guest that comes on here, whenever they're talking about training for like an ultra or a trail race, they always talk about doing strength training. So like strength training is almost a must for ultra and trail running. But tell us a little bit about like you're going into Bandera 100k the night before, and were you on the starting line with Ryan Miller, talking to him? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was a big. I mean, there's a few reasons why I picked Bandera, and of course, one of my biggest goals is to get to Western States 100 eventually. I knew it would be a tough time to get a top podium finish at Bandera. Such an elite field, like Ryan Miller, Olympic trials qualifier, and I think Matt Daniels was there, and he's a sub 4 minute miler, and I mean, veteran runner. Both of those guys. There was a lot of elites out there, and that was a big reason why I chose the race. It is the most elite field trail ultra in Texas, I would say, and I didn't get to run much with those guys. They hopped out there pretty quickly off the gun, but I was right behind them.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk to them much, but it was cool to see their times, and to see their crew and how they worked. They're real pros, man. They thought about every aspect of the run, and that, I mean, there's so much to think about of an ultra trail run. There's so much that goes into it, from crewing and your splits and how you're going to fuel, and man, they had a whole team there, and it was really cool to see that.
Yeah, man. I feel like that'd be, I don't know, man. My goal also one day is to, make it to Western States. I think that's every ultra and trail runner's goal.
Yeah.
So man, it sounds like you actually ended up placing really good. There were like 300 runners or something like that, I think. What was your place?
I've placed 24th, I believe. I think my A goal was around to complete the race under 10 hours, and I ended up coming in around 10 hours 46 minutes. I'm telling you, though, next year I've got that sub 10 for sure. I've definitely learned a lot with this run, and definitely know what I need to focus on this next year for sure to improve my time.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm excited to see how you do. Like I said, I'm following you on Strava, so I'm seeing all your training, and you're one of the fastest guys up in this North Texas area. I mean, all the local races, it seems like you just keep winning all of them. You won some 5K in like Denison or Sherman or something like that. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see what you end up doing, and your training's been going really, really good. Have you always been a runner? Did you run in like college, high school, or how did you come about?
I'm haven't always been a runner. I was I'm 30 now, and I would say I've been a runner. I would call myself a runner now for 2 years and a couple months. I started August 2018. So that was your classic, story of getting married, having a family, a full-time job, and then next thing I know, I'm eating left and right and not working out, and I look down at the scale, and I'm 200 pounds. So and that was that was what got me into running. I just wanted to lose some weight, and the competitor in me started to come back up. And I'd played tennis in high school. I went to state for Sherman High School my junior and senior year for doubles. I think the most we had ever ran for the tennis team growing up was like a couple of miles, if that. So, I mean, not a lot of experience running. But what kind of really got me into it was I was addicted to just getting faster and getting better at it, and seeing my weight come off. That was another aspect of it. But then I go back to work. I work at a car dealership, so it's like a big old country club up there, and a lot of those guys are not very active, and so I'm losing all this weight, and I go back up to work, and I'm kind of feeling good about myself, and I'd only been running maybe a few months, and lost maybe 30 pounds, and starting to look good. And I started bragging about how I ran 4 or 5 miles this weekend, and I was like, I think I'm gonna sign up for a marathon. I'm gonna train for a marathon, and everyone just thought I was completely crazy, and that I couldn't do it. Well, that just fueled my fire even more. So I signed up for a half marathon, the Dallas BMW half marathon, December 2018. That was my first race, and so I go back and bragging about to the guys at work. So that kind of kept me focused on training, and to actually sign up for a marathon eventually, and complete a marathon and go back and brag to the guys at work. But now I'm just I've caught the running bug, and I can't quit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Same thing happened to me. I think it was about 2 years ago or something like that. I think it's actually 3 now. But yeah, you just catch it sometimes, and it just becomes part of your life.
Oh,
Was
it's definitely part of who I am. It's definitely my identity now, and I'm thankful for that. I really am.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, running is just something that it's not only is it healthy. I mean, unless you run 100 miles, but it's just, I mean, the community is just so awesome, and it's just a really awesome thing. And when you're running, you're just in your natural state. Your mind's clear, and you can think about whatever. And I don't know, it's just nice. Um, so was the Bandera 100k? Was that your first 100k race?
Yes, that was my third official trail ultra, and I've done a 50k trail run before in 24 hours run, which was silly, and then this was my first like official 100k race for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. The fact you placed that and it's your first 100k like that, I, I'm excited to see what you do in like a year or two or a couple years. Like I feel like you're gonna, because you're also so new to running. So when a lot of people are like kind of peaking out around this time, you're kind of fresh and new to it all. So I think you definitely have um, the Western states in the bag in the next few years, and that'd be awesome. Hey, when you do, by the way, I'm gonna get you on the show. All right, so don't forget me on
Yes,
the show whenever
please.
you
I
do.
won't.
So what's like the most memorable thing from Bandera 100k?
Well, that's a good question. I would say just having my coach with me. He paced me on the second loop. So the Bandera 100k was 250k loops, and I came in. He came in to pace me on the second loop, and he was going to try to hang as much as he could with me on that second loop. So I came in on the first loop around 4 hours 53 minutes. I came in super focused, and I changed socks real quick, and I took in some fuels, and then grabbed Jason Hamill, friend slash coach. I've been with him for about a year now, and we took off on the second loop, and I was feeling all right at that time. But the first 5 or 6 miles of the loop is probably your toughest part of the course. With there's like I think there's 3,500 feet of climbing in that first few 6-7 miles of the loop, and so the goal was to kind of keep it dialed back for that section, and then towards the later sections where it flattens out a little bit, and I could kind of open up and pick up some speed, and maybe run those sections. And he really kept me dialed back at that point, and I had some stomach issues going, and we got up to I couldn't keep gels down. There was I was taking Martin gels, and I would put a gel down, take some water, and 3 minutes later it would just come right back up. And so he was kind of coaching me on the course, and he's a real veteran with these ultra runs and 10+ hour runs, and yeah, I guess he really understands like kind of what the body's going through at that time, and told me to get up at this next aid station and take in some solid foods like tortilla strips or PB&J, and some mashed potatoes was really what did the trick. But he helped me kind of figure things out up there. If I was out there by myself, I don't know if I could have rebounded like that and figured out things and was able to finish as strong as I did. So having him there was a unique, special experience for me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And man, I'm stoked that you were up there and that you just competed as well as you did and you're able to push through. And being from, the local area, it's just cool to see. So I have some questions that I ask every guest that's on the show. And the first one, which is probably my favorite question, is if you could only pick one song for runs for the rest of your life, what song would you choose?
Oh man, I changed my music so much. I don't know if particular song I would pick, but I am into more instrumentals and stuff. So, what am I listening to? Go check this out. You're not going to know who he is, but it's called Cafe Press by Hoochie, and it's just a really cool beat that I like running to these days. But that could change probably next week. So
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. I mean, it's
yeah.
better than choosing. I think the song was something. It was something by Lady Gaga, but Run Bum was on here and he was talking about how he listened to like some Lady Gaga song that was terrible for like 12 hours straight on a run or something. It was like just a mental thing. I don't know. It was weird, but hey, that's a lot better. I don't even know
Hey,
what.
I've got some Justin Bieber songs in my playlist right now.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with my music. It's always changing. It's always some like different stuff. So, man, that's cool. Um, let me pull in here. And so, what's your kind of like pre-race day ritual for all your races?
Well, I'm still trying to develop that a little bit. I I really if I could figure out how to sleep the night before a race, my mind is racing. So I
Yeah.
need to figure out how to relax the mind a little bit. So that's
Just take some
something I
melatonin.
yeah, yeah, that could help for sure. Maybe less coffee the day before or something too. I'm always jittery. Um, but the night before a race, the last 5 or 6 races, I've been eating sushi, and that's been really helpful for me. I feel like I haven't had any stomach issues, or I mean, of course you're going to have some issues 10 hours into a race or 8 hours into a race, but it's been working out really well for me. But still, it's a development and process. So
Yeah, yeah. I love sushi. I used to. Whenever I was back in Gainesville, when I am in Gainesville, I'm always hitting up. It's called Fuku, and they have some awesome California rolls. So, man, yeah,
Yeah.
sushi is definitely a way to go. Um, so before we wrap this show up, what's one thing of advice you got for our listeners, or something you want to tell them?
Yeah. So, like you kind of touched on earlier, Briston, this past year, I've learned so much. And I would say the biggest piece of advice I could give, um, I'm still a huge student of the sport. But it's easy days easy and hard days hard. You could have a mediocre run every day, but the time race day comes, you're only going to be slightly better than those mediocre runs. And I've really noticed that. And so every run has a focus now, and every run there's intent behind it. And consistency and is another thing. So consistency and easy days easy and hard workouts hard. And that's what I would say. Classic answer there.
100%, man. Yeah, that was really good. Definitely a philosophy I agree with, and a lot of other people do. And yeah, definitely take the easy days easy. And sometimes it's more like a humility thing, to where you're gonna have to post it on Strava, so you don't want to run slow because you're
Yeah.
afraid what people are gonna think. But it's for the better, and it's just better long term as well. So yeah, man, that was
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. Long term, especially. I haven't had um, any injuries this past year, and it's been I've never trained as hard. So I mean, it's definitely I think says something to keeping your easy days easy and stuff. So
Yep, that's awesome, man. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna be leaving you want me to leave your Strava and like your Instagram in the description below if people want to be able to find you or reach out to you for any questions
yes,
or anything? Yeah,
yeah, please do.
yeah, I'm gonna leave all that stuff below, guys, and I'm gonna be tagging him on Instagram and posting a bunch of clips on YouTube, so it'll all be there. So guys, make sure you leave a good rating on this show. Preferably a 5-star rating. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast, just scroll down, click the 5 stars. And then also, guys, we got a Patreon. So if you want to help out the show and get some perks with that as well, the Patreon is below as well. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next Saturday.